Pay attention to this security camera footage. January 31st, 2026. 2:27 p.m. The interior of a commercial kitchen in downtown suburban Ohio. Stainless steel surfaces, industrial fryers humming. The lunch rush has just ended. The kitchen is relatively quiet. Standing at the prep station is a woman named Karen Miller. She is 52 years old. She is wearing a gray and yellow uniform, a black visor, and the kind of sensible non-slip shoes you wear when you have spent 30 years on your feet. To the customers in the dining room, she is the heart of this establishment. She is the one who remembers your order. She is the one who gives extra tenders to the high school kids. She is the one who smiles and calls you honey. But watch your eyes. At 2:27 p.m. and 11 seconds, she stops moving. She doesn't look at the food. She doesn't look at the ticket machine. She looks up. She looks left. She looks right. She scans the ceiling corners. She is checking the blind spots. For 3 decades, Karen Miller was the most trusted employee in this building. But in the next 12 seconds, that trust will not just be broken. It will be incinerated, because what she pulls out of her pocket isn't a spice blend. It isn't a secret recipe. It is something that will close this restaurant forever and send 2 officers through the back door with their hands on their holsters. Most people think food tampering is about laziness. They think it's about a dropped burger that gets picked up, or a lack of hand. Gross, but human. Wrong. This was not laziness. This was biological warfare waged one basket of chicken at a time. This was a calculated, ritualistic act of hatred performed by a woman who smiled while you ate it. To understand why Karen Miller is currently sitting in a holding cell crying and blaming everyone but herself, you have to understand the environment she controlled. This restaurant, Golden's, was a local institution. Families ate here every Sunday. The owner, a man named David, treated Karen like family. He trusted her with the keys. He trusted her with the inventory. He trusted her to train the new hires. He didn't know that for the last 6 months, customers had been complaining about strange textures. He didn't know that 3 different Yelp reviews mentioned finding hair that didn't look like hair in the breading. He didn't know that the health inspector had found anomalies in the waste disposal that didn't make sense. David thought it was bad luck. He thought it was a supplier issue. He didn't know the problem was standing right in front of him, asking about his kids. The footage you are watching was recorded on a new system. David had installed it 2 days earlier. Not to catch Karen, but to catch a suspected thief on the night shift. He hadn't told the staff. He hadn't put up a sign. The camera was a small, high-definition dome concealed in the ventilation hood above the fryer. Karen Miller thought she was invisible. Watch frame 004. She reaches into her apron. Her hand is closed tight. She looks at the fryer. She looks at the tray of freshly breaded chicken waiting to go out to table for a family of 5 celebrating a birthday. She opens her hand. It isn't a mistake. It isn't an accident. She presses the object into the soft, raw batter. She folds the meat over it. She smooths it out. She pats it down with a level of care that is almost maternal. Then she drops it into the fryer. She watches it sizzle, and for a split second, she smiles. It isn't a nice smile. It is a smile of pure, concentrated malice. She doesn't know that 2 police officers are already on their way. Not for this, but for a noise complaint in the alley. She doesn't know that in 20 minutes, David is going to review this footage on his phone from his office. She doesn't know that the object she just hid inside that food a severed mousetail she brought from home is just the appetizer, because what investigators are about to find in her locker and what she has already put in the rest of the batch is so much worse than a rodent. This is the story of a woman who fed her rage to her community. Bite by bite. And she is just getting started. The plate leaves the pass. Table 4. The birthday table. Jessica, a 19-year-old college student, picks up the basket. She doesn't see the anomaly. She walks into the dining room. In the back office, David is sitting at his desk. He pulls up the feed from the new camera on his phone. He sees Karen. He sees the fryer. He frowns. He rewinds 10 seconds. He watches the hand go into the pocket. He watches the object emerge. The drop. David stops breathing. He zooms in. The resolution on the new 4K camera is unforgiving. David knows what a mouse tail looks like. He stands up. The blood drains from his face. Suddenly, the last 6 months make sense. He watches the screen again. He sees Karen reach under her hat. She pulls a clump of hair and drops it into the gravy pot. She isn't just tampering. She is polluting. David looks, at the time, to 28 p.m. The basket of chicken is already at table 4. David sprints. He bursts into the kitchen. "Don't eat that." The kitchen stops. Karen Miller turns around. "David." "What's wrong, honey?" David ignores her. He bursts into the dining room. David grabs the basket. Nobody eats. David pants. Nobody eats anything. 2 police officers step in. David points a shaking finger at Karen. "Check the chicken. Check her pockets." Karen's face changes. "He's crazy," she says. But David is holding out his phone. "I have it on video." The officer shouts, "Hands where I can see them." She pulls her hand out. It's a small plastic baggie. Karen Miller smiles. "It adds flavor," she says. And then she drops the bag of human feces into the boiling oil. The fryer erupts. The oil hisses violently as the plastic melts, releasing a cloud of toxic, biological steam into the kitchen. The smell is instantaneous. It is heavy, primal, and unmistakable. Officer Miller doesn't wait for a command. He moves. He grabs Karen's arm, twisting it behind her back before she can reach for anything else. She doesn't fight. She goes limp. She starts sobbing. Not tears of remorse. Tears of a child who just got caught drawing on the walls. "He made me do it," she screams, pointing at David with her free hand. "He said it was too expensive to throw it away. He said, recycle it." It is a lie so desperate, so absurd, that for a second, nobody speaks. David is standing by the pass, looking at the fryer, looking at the woman he trusted with his keys, his money, and his reputation for 30 years. He looks like he is going to be sick. The kitchen is the health department is called. This is no longer a restaurant. It is a biohazard site, but the horror isn't over. While Karen is being handcuffed and read her rights, the second officer opens her employee locker. Locker number 4. Inside, they don't find a purse. They don't find a change of clothes. They find a laboratory of filth. Lined up on the top shelf are 6 small Tupperware containers. They are labeled with dates and times. Container 1, dead house flies. Container 2, fingernail clippings. Container 3, dirt scooped from the parking lot. Container 4, more mouse pads. And next to them, a small, spiral-bound notebook. The officer opens it. It isn't a recipe book. It is a ledger. January 12th, table 6. Rude lady in the red coat gave her the special seasoning. January 14th, to kids' meal. Too loud. Added crunch. She had been keeping score. For months, Karen Miller had been waging a silent war against the people of this town, measuring her power in stomach aches and fevers. She hadn't been cooking. She had been infecting. The investigation revealed that the mousetail incident was just the finale. DNA testing on the kitchen surfaces found traces of human saliva, hair, and fecal matter on the prep boards, the spatulas, and the rim of the soda fountain. Golden's never reopened. David filed for bankruptcy 3 weeks later. The reputation of the 30-year institution evaporated in an afternoon. In the interrogation room, Karen Miller wiped her nose and looked at the detective. The tears were gone. The sweet old lady was gone. "They never said thank you," she whispered. 30 years, and nobody ever said thank you. She is currently awaiting trial on multiple counts of food tampering and assault. She faces 20 years in prison. The next time you go out to eat, the next time a smiling woman in a sensible uniform calls you honey and hands you a basket of food, look at her eyes. Check the corners of the room and ask yourself what she might be hiding in her pocket.